Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane has been fired as Minister of Higher Education and Training. Her former deputy, Buti Manamela, now becomes minister. So here's what's happened in the last while. This was announced in a press statement by the Presidency, which says President Ramaphosa has replaced Nkabane with Manamela, but also gone further to appoint Dr. Nomusa Dube-Ncube as the deputy minister who takes over in Manamela's old office. Nkabane was due to appear before the Committee on Higher Education and Training tomorrow, which was expected to give further account on the controversial and now rescinded appointment of chairpersons of SETA Education and Training Authority boards. Last week, she was a no-show during a parliamentary hearing where she was expected to face those questions, opting instead to go to a department event or an event in the higher education and training space at a TVET event in the Eastern Cape. Let's take this conversation further with Ahmed Essop. He's a research associate at the Ali Mazrui Center for Higher Education Studies. That's at the University of Johannesburg. Good to have your time, sir, on the SABC tonight. So the minister, Dr. Nkabane, now being fired by the president, as we understand it, this evening. Did he have any other choice?
No, good evening, Tembikile. No, he didn't have any other choice. And quite frankly, I think he should have fired a lot earlier. It's quite clear from the outset that she had lied to Parliament when Advocate Matau revealed that he had not participated as a chair of the independent panel. The fact that the rest of the panel members were officials of the department, either as well as one or two of her advisors, was clear it wasn't an independent panel. She lied, it was in the public domain, and quite frankly, the president should have fired her a few weeks ago.
And why do you think this was left to drag on for so long? Because it has been months of basically dancing around the same spot, statements made, retractions issued, corrections, apologies, even when it came to the panel that we were told advised on the appointment of these SETA board chairpersons. In fact, the advocate who was named by the minister as the chair of that process said he had a meeting but never even agreed to take on the role, but was listed as such nonetheless.
I think the minister was running for cover. I think she was hoping that through the various machinations that the story would die away, that it won't be probed, that the parliamentary committee would not take it any further. The fact that it did and has held her accountable, and the fact that Advocate Matau, including the various departmental officials, subsequently in writing to the portfolio committee indicated that they were not part of the panel, that they had not participated, left the minister with nowhere to run to.
How, though, Ahmed, do you rationalize a minister making, for want of a better phrase, or for being generous, such a mistake, such a grave mistake, because ultimately it's cost her a seat in cabinet? Was it ignorance or a sense that she could get away with it?
Well, I'm not sure it was a mistake. I think the appointments speak to the way in which the governing party operates in terms of providing lucrative positions for members of the party who are not in Parliament. So in a sense, it's not surprising that she did what she did. I don't think it was a mistake. I think she was quite conscious who she appointed. I don't think she expected to be found out. And so in that context, the minister had a difficult time.
And the president's choice of a replacement, Buti Manamela, a long-time deputy minister in the department. I've heard him described this evening as a safe pair of hands. Do you agree? And what should be the first order of business for him, considering that ultimately Parliament has been telling us, at least the MPs we've been speaking to tonight, that they still want further explanations from the department regarding the SETA saga?
Look, I think Buti Manamela, as you say, has been a deputy minister for close on to 15 years. He was previously, in the 1990s, a student leader. He was either, I can't recollect now, the president or general secretary of SASCO. So he's well versed in higher education matters. As a deputy minister, his role was limited and constrained because ministers don't allow deputies to shine. I think Buti has played an important role in the recent past, for instance, in the xenophobic attacks that took place against various higher education institutions. You may recall that Buti Manamela wrote an article in the Daily Maverick defending the right of institutions and the importance of institutions to appoint academics from other parts of the world in terms of intellectual diversity and the quality of higher education system. It's something that we would have expected the minister to have done, but she was completely silent. So in that sense, Buti Manamela has played an important role. Whether it remains to be seen what he does going forward.
And I wonder then, as he comes in and there is this level of trust and confidence because he's an experienced hand in the department, even though he had served as just deputy, if we're perhaps not missing the point or losing sight of the bigger picture in perhaps the assumption by some that the removal from the scene of Dr. Nkabane ultimately means the department has been healed. Am I right to say there's still plenty that ails the higher education ministry?
Well, look, I think there are major challenges that the ministry faces. Buti Manamela has his work cut out. There are a range of issues in higher education, not the least of which are the challenges at the National Student Financial Aid Scheme that he needs to address. But within the ministry and department itself, I forget exactly, but in the higher education branch of the department, most of the senior positions are acting positions. They've not been able to attract appropriate qualified and senior posts from within the higher education sector. So he's got a lot of work cut out, both in terms of capacitating the department and then in building trust with the rest of the higher education sector, because the previous minister had no understanding of the sector, did not understand the policies of her department and ministry. And so Buti has to go out and rebuild the trust that may have been lost with the leadership of the higher education sector.
You talk about capacitation of the sector, you talk about rebuilding trust. How much of that ultimately is Buti Manamela as the new political leader actually in charge of? How much of it is within his control, given what the department has been experiencing for years and the Nkabane saga?
Well, look, I think I don't want to, in a sense, speak about some of the politics that may have impacted on the department, both recently and in the past. I think if Buti Manamela wants to make his mark, he needs to assert his leadership. He needs to restructure the department. He needs to attract the appropriate skills, particularly I speak in relation to the higher education branch of the department. I think there are many, as I said, there are many acting positions. I don't have any confidence in the current Deputy Director General for Higher Education, in the way she's interacted in the portfolio committee, where she's hung higher education institutions to dry. So I think he's got, if he wants to take the sector forward, I think he knows what he needs to do.
Good to talk to you. Ahmed Essop, Research Associate at the Ali Masrui Center for Higher Education Studies at the University of Johannesburg. Thank you for your time tonight.